Y'all, I hope you're ready for crazy, because what I'm about to cover for you is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Here's a few highlights. Wheelchair-bound veteran, random dude who's been convicted of assaulting a Trump campaign back in 2020, accusations of stolen valor, pulling a knife and turning a wheelchair into a jousting instrument, a concealed carry whipped out and shot the guy in the wheelchair, and all the while, oh, God in heaven. Guys, the timeline that we're living in is insane. And make sure you check out everything in the description box below. It will be linked on my X profile at Braden LOA, because I can't show you the whole video. And make sure hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because we are getting smoked by the YouTube algorithm. So make sure you send this one out and leave some comments to help it along. All right, listen. You're going to have some feels on this one. I'm going to set some of the video live, and I'm going to shut it off at the right points. But effectively, you're talking about a veteran getting shot by somebody who has shown signs of being crazy prior and convicted of said crazy right in the chest because of accusations of stolen valor and demands of ID right outside of Starbucks. This is why we carry. All right, that's enough of the prerequisites. Let's get into this. You guys are going to have feels. Some of you are going to say one person did something wrong. Some of you are going to say other people did something wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments. And again, this feed will be open and live on my X profile. But anti-Trump Seattle area man charged in shooting of wheelchair-bound veteran. Doesn't that make the heart just go beat, beat, and pitter-patter? What in the actual F? Oh yeah, there's more. Tim was convicted of criminal mischief in the tent case, later telling the court he felt it was his duty to take action against the Trump administration. Yep, this sounds good. Let's get into the video. I got to show you this. All right, I'm going to play this. The parts I can play, and the second that you would expect, where there's actually discharges, I can't play. It'll be linked on my X profile at Braden LOA. Jump over there, follow me over there. Let's get into this. I'm going to shut myself off so you can hear the audio, and then I'll cut at the right point. Okay, you can pretty clearly get the idea of what's happening there. Again, you can watch the video. So, my first initial thought on this, does that look like a scenario where there's an active threat to the individual in the red shirt? I mean, honestly, does it? Now, I'm not saying both parties are innocent, but from the mere optics of where we're at right this second, this doesn't look good. Guy accuses 68-year-old dude in a wheelchair of stolen valor, provokes a fight. The wheelchair man charges at him with a knife, pulls out an airsoft gun. Provoker pulls out a pistol from his man purse and blasts the guy. The wheelchair man survived. He is a vet. This is why we carry. This is why we are concealed carry. This is why we are trained. This is why, because you never know the freaking level of crazy. The guy in the red shirt started randomly yelling at the guy in the veteran in the wheelchair, and then he started actually going after him with a knife after the guy in the red took his freaking patch. Like, he took something from him, so the guy in the wheelchair turns his wheelchair into a horse, a mount, and starts going after him with a knife and an airsoft gun. Again, the comments on this one are going to be all over the map. I'm going to hide this real quick so I can kind of scoot this forward past the part where I can't show you. But you can imagine what just happened as I'm doing this. I'm scrubbing this. Again, I can't show you. All right, here we go. The whole video is on my X if you want to see it. And this is what he does afterwards. So the guy in the wheelchair has been shot in the chest. Okay? Then the guy in the red does this. Starts saying that everything's fine after he limp-wristed and jammed everything. So now... Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on me. Okay, crazy.
Show me your ID. Pull a fucking gun on me. Pull a fucking gun on me.
So apparently he's very mad that he didn't show his ID.
Put it away, sir.
The bush cam.
It's all right, everybody. I apologize. Pull a gun on me.
All right. So right there, you can see what the guy says. It's okay, everybody. I apologize. He pulled a gun on me. You saw the altercation, right? Now, again, in the comments on this one, I know that I'm going to have people saying the guy in the wheelchair was wrong, the guy in the red was wrong. I'm not here to tell you who was right or wrong. I can tell you the optics of that. The guy in the red clearly looked like he could simply evade any type of issue. I'm not the guy in the red. I wasn't involved in the situation, but it sure looks like he could have de-escalated and walked away from that without any threat to his life. Maybe the guy had a pistol. Maybe there was something else that he felt like he could do this, that, or the other. It kind of falls apart in the data that I'm about to show you and the reporting. But that's the actual video, outside the part I can't show you. But if I go over here back to this little piece, let me show you what some of the details are here of this. This is insane. A man who once made national headlines for previously driving a van into a tent of Trump campaign volunteers, is now charged with shooting a wheelchair-bound veteran along Seattle's waterfront. Does this guy sound like a nice guy? That's little homeboy right there. He's got the eyes. Just saying. Let's keep on going. Gregory William Tim, now 32, first gained notoriety in 2020 when he plowed his vehicle into a Republican voter registration tent in Jacksonville, Florida. No one was injured, but the attack rattled volunteers and drew a sharp rebuke from then-President Donald Trump, who warned on social media, be careful, tough guys who you play with. So even Trump has been involved in some ancillary way on this. All right. Tim was convicted on criminal mischief. I don't know. I feel like that should be a little bit bigger than criminal mischief. In that case, later telling the court he felt it was his duty to take action against the Trump administration by running into a Republican van into a Republican tent with a van in an effort to kill people. Yeah, this guy doesn't seem all the way there, does he? But don't worry, he's really, really passionate about stolen valor. According to charging documents obtained by the Ari Hoffman Show on Talk Radio 570, Tim confronted Powell outside a Starbucks on Alaskan Way, accusing him of stolen valor and demanding proof of his veteran status. I guess that's where the tie-in to the ID thing comes along. Witnesses told police that Powell, seated in a wheelchair and wearing a military patch, had been asking passerbys for money, so he was panhandling. Tim allegedly ripped a military patch from Powell's belongings, prompting Powell to produce a knife and later a holstered airsoft gun that the court filing says Powell never removed from the holster. So you have an airsoft gun in a holster. Okay, that's not ideal. Don't do that. But you saw the knife, and the guy was using the wheelchair as, like, seriously a jousting tool. So this whole thing, it's wrong. It's so bad on both sides. It's so bad. The other guy, the guy who is apparently demanding ID and saying and making accusations of stolen valor, and if you're a veteran, that's a very serious accusation. But God Almighty. Prosecutors allege that Tim then drew a .45 caliber handgun, took several steps back, and shot Powell in the chest at point-blank range. This was a completely unnecessary act of violence committed by the defendant to a vulnerable victim who was confined to his wheelchair, Senior Deputy Prosecutor Elaine Lee wrote in the bail request. Tim is charged with first-degree assault with a firearm enhancement, is being held on $750,000 bail. His arraignment is scheduled for August 18 in King County Superior Court. Under Washington law, prosecutors say a defendant cannot claim self-defense if they provoke the confrontation, something they argue Tim did by initiating the dispute and forcibly taking Powell's property. Quote, "If you provoke an attack upon yourself, you lose the right to claim self-defense," said Casey McNerthy, spokesperson for King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Okay, you're going to see two angles on this. One, the guy in red initiated the entire thing and provoked the attack, and the other angle is going to be the guy in the wheelchair was being a imminent threat to the guy in the red. That video that I showed you kind of throws that one out the window. But anyway, here's more of it. Seattle gunman Gregory Tim, who crashed car into Trump voter registration, is accused of shooting man in wheelchair over stolen valor. I mean, as you can see, it's the same guy, it's the same story. I'm only giving this to you for validation. So what we're dealing with here is the weirdest timeline that we've ever been. Guys, head on a swivel. We are dealing with crazy no matter where you find it. And can we just leave people alone, please? The dude was in a freaking wheelchair and he's panhandling and he's saying he's a veteran. Okay. Just let him panhandle. It's not the end of the world. Definitely not worth getting in an altercation, taking his stuff, and then drawing down on him when he pulls a knife on you and then shooting him in the chest. Not ideal. Bad form. Great day, everybody. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.